Good morning. Well, I know that it's morning in some places and it's afternoon in others, but for me and where I'm located right now, it's morning time. Thank you for joining us. My name is Bill Mitchell, Bill Mitchell Academies. Of course, you know that already. We started a series on Monday about how thinking clearly will boost sales. I think everyone agrees that it's our thinking that helps us get where we want to go when we're thinking properly. And on Monday, we talked about the importance of how thought is formed. You see, here's the deal. In my 60 years of business, I'm absolutely convinced that you cannot change your behavior if you can't change your thoughts, because everything emanates from your thoughts. So I have this premise: if you want to be a good thinker, if you want to have good thoughts, maybe it would be helpful. It certainly was for me many years ago when I went to a seminar and heard someone talk about your thoughts. It might be helpful if we knew how our thoughts are formed, how they're processed, and what goes into creating our thoughts and our ability to change thoughts. You see, last Monday we talked about that it's your senses, the five senses that taste, touch, smell, sight, sound. These are the senses that start everything rolling. And there's a profound impact that these senses have and our interpretation of these senses over time, because that makes a difference. Senses, for example, suddenly take the form initially of emotions, then images, and then words. As you'll recall, I said on Monday, when first emotion, the first thought we put into our minds was when the doctor delivered us and raised us up and slapped us on the rear end, and we felt the emotion of perhaps pain or just letting the world know that we've arrived. And then come images, and then come words. Why is that important? It's important because it allows you to think about what you want to let into your mind, and how these senses stimulate thoughts. And when you have some limitations and you start thinking in terms of what caused them, understanding that it's the senses that created an emotion, an image, or a word, helps you deal with the problem or opportunity that's in front of you. But today, that was kind of a summary of what went on Monday. Today I want to talk about two words that create a lot of confusion. People throw the word mindset around like it represented a lot of different things. But a mindset is simply the mental process that determines how we're going to interpret and respond to situations. When someone says have a good mindset, that means have good mental processing of the information that's in your head. Because the other word that they confuse sometimes, when I think they want to say attitude, they say mindset when they mean attitude. See, attitude is how we feel about what we know. Well, what we know is how we process the mindset, how we process the information that we have. And to understand that, you need to understand the process. So if you'll buy in with me that the mindset is a process, you'll start to recognize that there are reasons that everyone stresses the importance of gaining knowledge and experience through observation, books, and going to school. Because it's only with the information that we've accumulated through our senses and our emotions, images, and words that we can make good decisions. So I think it's understandable that the more information you have, the stronger you're going to be able to make good decisions and thoughtful decisions. But I want to give you a 4-step process, very simple, a 4-step process of this mental process, the mindset process. The mindset process I'll give you the 4 words and then I'll explain them. Perception, association, evaluation, and decision. Very simple. Okay? Perception, association, evaluation, and decision. Now, when your senses stimulate a thought, you perceive what it is. And you turn right away to this warehouse of knowledge that you have to associate it with what you know. And the next step is you start to evaluate that information. And there you make a decision. I'm going to give you an example, a little story that I'd like to share with you. When our granddaughter was probably 6, 7, 8 months old, I'm not sure right now, she followed her mother into their dressing room, and our daughter had a curling iron, and our granddaughter was in a jumper. And she accidentally jumped in her jumper and grabbed that cord and pulled it down and burned her arm very, very severely. Well, go ahead about 4, 5, 6, 7 months. I don't know exactly when it was. But I was at my home and I was hanging a picture, and I have the old-fashioned drill that you have to have plugged into the wall. And our granddaughter comes up and she looks at me and she looks at that cord and she looks back at me and says, "Papa, no, no, no." Now, what happened? She came up, she saw the cord. She associated it with what she knew. She evaluated because she knew it meant pain, and when her evaluation said, "I don't want to pull that cord," she makes a decision. Well, this happens in everything we do in life. And if you want to be a clear thinker, if you want to really boost your sales, one of the things you have to do is comprehend, as much as you might want to resist it, comprehend how thought is created, how thought's stored, how thought's stimulated, all the elements. And it's very simple. It's just a matter of a few words. And when we get those words down, it'll make a tremendous difference in who we are and what we do, and help us more clearly think through the things that we need to think through. But remember this, the bottom line is the more information you accumulate, sometimes even if it's wrong, the more that you accumulate, the more you have to perceive, the more you have to associate to, the more you can evaluate, and the better decisions you're going to make. So, and we stress the importance of learning, especially in sales, learning your dialogues, learning your scripts, learning your product, learning your competition, accepting the fact that prospecting is critical. All of these things will make a huge difference in what you do. I want to thank you for joining me. If you'd like to receive more information, we've created mindset memos that we send out weekly to those that want to subscribe to them. So if you'd go to the link above, it'll take you to our mindset memos, and we'd look forward to sharing with you, and really would look forward to hearing from you in terms of other thoughts that you might like us to talk about. So until then, have a great day, and I hope the tomorrows are thought through more clearly, because you have a better understanding of thought and its impact on our actions, which will make you a clear thinker, which will result in bottom line better performance. Have a great day.